Granny wants money. Granny is a pirate again. Oh, I forgot to change my clothes this whole recording session. Oh well. We'll have... Ew, words are hard. We'll have other opportunities to do the same thing later. Alright. I'm just imagining this is Pirate Granny. But collecting coins in the river seems kind of odd. I guess the story here is probably just that people threw or dropped coins into the river, same way you would in like a wishing fountain. And now Granny's just picking them all back up for her own profit. It's the most piratey thing you can do around here. There's not really much... Well, I say there's not really much treasure or anything to have otherwise, but yes there is. Ah, no! Eh. Not that they have very high standards to match here anyways, so it's not really a problem if I miss a thing or two. Oh, Granny, start rowing, jeez. Just took a break for a minute. Yeah, me having been able to have the entire line of talk about... Why does Rain just stop rowing? The entire line of thought about... Ready! About racing games last episode is probably just an indication of this not taking that much thought out of me. I'm kind of playing this on autopilot. So cool though. It's weird as I get older and know more stuff about games and how they work and how they're designed and things like that, how my appreciation kind of changes. So I feel like when you're younger, pretty much all of your appreciation for games is really just the aspect of immersion and them feeling kind of real. And looking better on the inside, I've got 10 more points. Yeah, boom! Oh, that's an inconvenient place for that to be. Alright, backward rowing time. I knew that would come in handy. But, so for instance, in Jet Set Future, as a random example, I would include an example from this game if I had this game as a child. In Jet Set Future, I knew nothing about how the game worked or anything like that. There are lots of areas in that game. There are lots of roads that just go off of... So the game's open world, if you're not aware, of Jet Set Future. But there are lots of roads that just go to places you can't access. So it just says you can't go here if you try to go there, because there's nothing beyond there. But I was really curious about what would be on there. What would be over there. I really wanted to see. Because in my mind, it was a game world that was immersive to where it didn't occur to me that there weren't things over there. And nowadays I know that that's just where the game map ends. In fact, for that matter, I've seen JSRF inside and out to a pretty significant degree. I know very well where the maps end in that game. And stuff like that. Which, in a lot of cases, there's less magic after that, but at the same time, you still have you get an opportunity instead for appreciation of what it is instead, and how it's designed, instead of just the immersive aspect that you used to have. And you might notice every now and then I kind of deliberately lean towards maintaining the immersive aspect when I play these Wii Ski Snowboard games. Like when I said, it would be interesting to see how all the stuff in this game connects, how all the rivers connect and whatnot. I should. Oh yeah, I got the same number of points either way. It's funny how they keep giving you multiple routes with different denominations of coins, but they give you the same amount of money anyways. Or points at least. Oh no, I could not see that. That was a blind drop there. So I was saying though that I wouldn't though at the same time want to like see beyond the boundaries of this area. I like that it feels immersive and that you don't see outside the world. And it does bug me in the mountain, for instance, when I see buildings that just don't have entrances and stuff like that. One of the things I've liked a lot about this series is it's really immersive in that it has lots of small details, like the buildings have signs on them saying what they are. Like, this is a restaurant, this is the name and logo of that restaurant. It has an actual entrance. Like, it feels like a world where things could actually, like, exist in reality. That was the one thing that I actually really loved about Magic Pinjal, even though that game's world, that game's hub world, is so incredibly small, but there's so many people in there that always have something going on. You can always talk to them at different parts of the game, and they'll have to say things about what's going on in their lives. Things that have nothing to do with the story. Stuff like that. It was a strangely immersive game to me. In spite of there not being much to it. And the Whiskey Stormer series has had something... Granny! It has been kind of like that for me. But I can still appreciate things when I do see how they work and what's inside as well. But I guess it's just a regular kind of appreciation. Jeez, Granny stops rowing a lot of the time. I don't know why. I guess she's getting tired. Well, see, I said that just as a joke, but like I fill in gaps sometimes too. It's like things I say. Just like do a little bit of silly world building on my own as well. Like all the silly stuff around the dogs in this game, for instance. I don't need that brown coin. You're dumb, brown coin. I'm fine without you. Ow! It's probably karmic. I only just now got the required number of coins, too. Required score. How much more is there here? And usually I get pretty decent access to what's required. Which is why I'm wondering. Darn it. No. Go for the rotation, Granny. Every single time, I just like get caught on something. And just flip over. This sort of keeps going on too. Mountain. Yeah, you can see the skybox is right there, so I guess the area ends there. It's kind of hard to name specific examples, though, of cases of me liking seeing how a game's designed. Because you just kind of have to go in depth for that. Like at one point I figured out how Blinks 2 actually applies colors to the clothing. Because in that game you design your own character. You can select colors for like their fur and the stuff they're wearing and stuff like that. And I figured out how the game maps the colors onto those textures. Because you can select up to 2 colors. That was a cool little discovery. I've seen a lot of stuff about how JSRF works at this point too, internally. There are lots of people looking into stuff like that lately. And I also appreciate just how cleanly JSRF is organized. Blinks 2 is weird. It has insane amounts of duplicated data on the game disk. I've never been able to... I've never been able to figure out what things aren't actually used, or when or where. It's really, really, really strange. But JSRF is super nice and clean. SSX Tricky even has a text file explaining how his music works, which is awesome. Darn it. I appreciate games having stuff like that. Yeah, JSRF isn't a very clean, easy to work with format. Just for like opening it up and seeing what's inside. Which I have an appreciation for one. But since I actually know a lot of how that game is programmed and stuff like that, it's just like I can see the work that went into it and stuff like that. And some of the quirks in it too, and some of the flaws, like things that were like mistakes that were made in some versions of the game. Why there are glitches with a D3000 in that game, for instance. Should probably make a video explaining that at some point. Last one. I don't know, I'm at a point in my life too that we're playing a video game for an hour. Maybe it's just playing a game for an hour and talking the whole time or something like that. I don't know. But it wears me out, man. Like, I keep saying I don't play things anymore outside of playing stuff on YouTube. Probably in part because, like, it's not that I wouldn't necessarily play anything at all if I wasn't playing stuff for these videos, but at the same time, like, I feel like I even exceed my quota for playing things just by playing stuff for this channel. Like, you can probably tell all the time, I sound pretty exhausted by the end of a recording session, I think. If I do, it's because I am. Just playing a game for an hour. Of course, it doesn't help when I'm waggling my arm the entire darn time. But even though I love the game, like, I'm really enjoying this game. Ribbit, I'm having a ton of fun with too, but I'm still exhausted by the time I get to the end of Ribbit. Of course, Ribbit's its own weird thing too, so... No, I want those gold coins. Darn it. It would be cool to get 2 gold coins in a row. And that game's a lot of stuff to keep up with, I guess, and a lot to take in. It's probably another reason why it's kind of tiring, even though it's less action-oriented than this game is. It's not a bad kind of tired, I guess. It's not like... Like, it makes it hard to do other things afterwards in the day, but... It's not like it exhausts me because I don't want to do it. It just exhausts me because... I mean, just in the way that sometimes doing things that you want to do might exhaust you, I guess, is a way of saying it. But also just sitting in a chair at a desk for an hour, talking into a microphone, and playing stuff. Does drag on me a little bit. Granted, for the past couple of years, a lot of people have been spending a significant amount of their time sitting at desks talking to microphones in front of a computer too. And they have similarly been worn out by doing this. I don't know. Maybe it just has more to do with that. And then I've been doing my own fair share of that too, and then I play these things and do kind of the same thing. I'm paying, like, no attention to what I'm doing in the game, by the way. Randy's at point of unconscious and skilled. She just does... this stuff is just automatic for her. She doesn't have to think about rowing a boat. Go Granny, be free. On the big right beyond. Why did it tell me twice? Well, I go off that waterfall into the lake. Yeah, that tiredness is hitting me now. Honestly. Yeah, once I allow myself to be tired, I'm freaking tired. I don't think I will. I'll go rafting next time, though. Kayak. No! I've had enough of kayak. Hey. More items. So I guess I get a kayak trophy. Maybe I also get a rafting trophy later, then. Excuse me. Thank you. we'll head on down to the bottom at least, and we'll take the fast way down, not the kayak this time. So it does eventually slow down a little bit. And next time I'll try to remember to actually change up the clothing. Because I do want to take advantage of all the clothing this game gives you. All the various silly things you can do with it. Yeah, see, parts of going down this mountain really reminds you of going down Mount Angrio. Not all of it, parts of it. I know a fairly fast way down now at this point, though. It is nice just getting to know these places so much over time. I guess I do play through games at a pretty slow pace, only playing like an hour a week. But dragging out a game can be kind of nice in some ways sometimes, too. Like, I really get to know different places in this game over a pretty substantial period of time. I feel like it kind of helps burn it into long-term memory when you take as long as you to when there's time in between each sitting. So you can't just have it all in your short-term memory. Just, I've gone around this area once and now I remember that, and I'll forget it as soon as I stop playing. I get an idea of what everything's like, then I stop playing. I'll do rafting next time on the left there. Then I come back and I have to re-remember some of it, and I keep doing that over and over. By the end I know all these places pretty darn well, which is cool. Alright. And games that are this long that take this much time to get through are really, I caught the camera as I was trying to turn. Are really, something I don't want to always do because it's a lot of time I can't play other things, and I don't know, it tires me in a weird way, spending this much time on a game, but even so, a lot of them are really fun. Like this of Via Pinata. I feel like the peak is everywhere. Well, I like those signs too, that's little things, and the stations have names. Wonderful. Alright. Bye everyone, see you next week.